Restaurant Unstoppable. What the most successful restaurateurs know that you don't.
For me, my focus in the restaurant industry is always about the people.
Always about
If you
people.
focus on your people and you put your people first, they'll put your guests first, and ultimately you're going to be successful.
Yes, great way to get this thing started. I don't think we need to dissect that anymore. Pretty straightforward. Where does your story make sense to start sharing? How far back do we want to go?
I think people are always interested in that beginning, kind of how did you make that decision? And, you have to realize this was in a year, kind of about a year or so after Hurricane Katrina.
Yep.
Our neighborhood had flooded. Our house was destroyed. All our neighbors' homes. Everybody was in rebuilding. And in New Orleans, rebuilding, really still continues to this day. So it's a very long process. There had been this building in the neighborhood that had been blighted and really a nuisance leading up to the hurricane. And then after the hurricane, the owner was finally willing to sell it. We had always told our neighbor who wanted to buy it, like, hey, if you ever get that space, find somebody to open a breakfast restaurant because I like to eat breakfast and I want to go eat some breakfast someplace. Yeah. One of the, I guess, life learnings of Hurricane Katrina was that sometimes the somebody you were looking for had to be yourself because everybody was stretched so thin and really just at the end of their rope. So my husband's an electrical engineer. I'm a chemical engineer. We both worked in oil and gas in our careers. And we just basically said, like, okay, you're an engineer. What are you going to do? You're going to research it. You're going to learn about it. So we went on the internet. We literally subscribed to restaurantowner.com website and got
Jim
the
Lab,
magazine.
Good
I know.
friend here of Restaurant Unstoppable.
Yes,
He's been on the show a couple of times.
Read everything we could. My husband did all the design and construction, and I did, kind of the employee manual and the policies and how do you build a schedule and what your budget should look like and all that kind of stuff. And so we basically, as engineers, we approached it in the way we'd approach project management and problem solving.
I want to get into that real quick, but where do you think you would have been without restaurantowner.com?
I don't even know where we would have started.
Yeah, and I'm only saying because they've been organically recommended so many times on the show, and they're great people, friends of Restaurant Unstoppable, and I know that they're giving their services away for free right now through September, or maybe it's 3 months. I'll address this in the closing thoughts, but we'll definitely link to restaurantowner.com because it's an incredible resource.
The resources, even to this day, we still are members 12 years later, probably 13 years because we had it for about a year before we actually opened. And it's literally like, hey, how do I write a labor schedule for back of house and how much should I spend? How do I do a sales projection? What's the rule of thumb on how much I should spend in my lease? You know, and so as engineers, we just basically took all that stuff and we're like, well, if this is what the book says, that's what we're going to do. And we just made it all
It's
work.
an aiming point. It gives you a clue. It has something that it gives you something to aim for. And beyond that, just templates galore.
Yeah.
So you don't have to go out there and recreate everything. You can plug things into your business that have already been created, spreadsheets, checklists, things of this nature, and make it your own over time and improve upon it to make it custom for your business. But you need a starting point, right?
Yeah.
Thank you for going further into that. It's a great resource. And you started talking, and I just want to mention this. If you guys do use our link in the show notes, you will get that 3 months free. So make sure you're using our link. I just want to make sure people know that.